harness has been completed. Yeah, this was basically a complete rebuild. Yeah, it was in very, very bad nick when we started. So I think the one plastic cover was missing. This side, I think this side was here, but it was pretty much broken. So we've taken all of that off, and we've structured the harness so that it'll basically sit in the same way as what it did. Okay, you'll see all of this is rigid as though it's got a plastic on it. It's just the way that we construct them when we don't have any of those plastics. Okay, so yeah, a lot of connectors were replaced on this harness. Literally every connector was replaced. So you've got new connectors on your coil packs, on your water temp sensor, your water temp sensor over there for your cluster. Okay, all of your injector connectors have been replaced. Your whole harness here has been wrapped, like I say. Your TPS, that was not replaced. There was nothing wrong with that. I think that was the only connector that there was nothing wrong with. Coming down here, you have a section that runs down, and that'll plug into your coils. Okay, both of those connectors were replaced. And then it tees off and it goes to this connector over here, which is for your airflow meter. And then there's another bridge off over here, and that plugs into your alternator with this 3-pin connector. So everything, your charge light, all of that stuff is built into your client plug. Okay, so running back here, this big red wire is basically your battery, goes to your battery positive. That's the main power supply for the system. Okay, and then here there was also quite a bit of reconfiguration. You have, on this system, you've only got the one earth because all of that had to be redone. Okay, so you've only got one earth strap over here that comes out of the right hand side of the harness at the back. Make sure that that is earthed. That is your earth supply for the system. And then you've got this wire coming out, which is your right hand O2 sensor. Okay, coming around here, you've got your connector over here for your starter solenoid and for your knock sensors. Okay, and then again you've got all of your connectors over here for your injectors. Okay, your 6-pin connector over there was replaced, and then this 4-pin, you had a 2-pin on yours. We don't stock the 2-pin, we replace them with the 4-pin. So both this side and the other side of your front harness, I'll go through that in a minute, but that's being completely reconfigured as well. This is another add-on that we put in, so this will go down over here and it'll plug into your oil pressure switch. Okay, that basically covers the actual harness. Let's quickly go over here. It tees off and it goes through to your fuse box. Okay, in here you've got all of your fuses. You've only got 5 in here because this is it's a non-VVTI, so it doesn't have throttle by wire. That 5th fuse there is normally for the throttle by wire. Okay, and then your single relay over there is your start relay. You've got your engine light over there. You've got TEI and EI. Yeah, yours is a 95, so that's slightly different. Then you've got, that's for diagnostics on the OBD1. Okay, and then over here you've got your 2 relays for your fuel. And then the top row is your EFI and main relays. Okay, everything is marked in the bottom of your fuse box lid. Okay, so running down here, obviously your grommet. Okay, and then you've got a 10-pin connector over here. We've actually got it plugged into the start stand currently. So you got your ignition, your fuel, your start, you got your rev counter, temperature gauge, you got your oil light, your charge light, and that last one over there is also your engine light. Okay, so that's just a bridge off, and then you've got this 4-pin connector which goes to an OBD2. Okay, now this runs 1st generation OBD2, so it's SDL, I think is the term on that. So you'll see there it's plugged into pin 2. SIL, which is the later one, also OBD2, is basically plugged into pin number 7. So it's like a first gen, like I say, of OBD2. My scanner does not read this protocol, so I'm not going to be able to do a scan for you. You can see I've got my interface plugged in here. Yeah, I've never been able to read it on my scanner on the 95, but I have read it on other scanners. I actually got a cheap one off eBay or Amazon, and it was like a $20 scanner from Launch, and that one read them. So that there might be an idea. But yeah, you've got both. I mean, you've got the STL system in your OBD2, and then you've got the other one here, which is the TC, and TEI. So that'll give you should give you your flash codes. Okay. Yeah, let me plug in that O2 sensor. I'll put on the throttle body and air intake pipe and plug in the airflow meter, and then we will give her a test run for you. Okay, so I've put on the throttle body, I've put on the air pipe. There's just a couple of things here I want to quickly go through with you. You've got a little tube over here on the right hand side on the right hand valve bank, or valve cover. Okay, that goes into your throttle body, and it comes out here and it goes into your intake chamber. This is all part of your crank ventilation system. Just make sure that is connected. Some guys just put a filter on, then obviously you don't have any through flow, which means that your crankcase will get gummed up in the end. Okay. And then another thing that's critically important is, so that principle there, it gets sucked through the right hand valve cover, gets sucked from the throttle body, okay, on the outside of the butterfly valve. Okay, so in other words, the air going through the ventilation system is still being calculated through the airflow meter. Now this is where a lot of guys go wrong, is on your idle control valves. This tube, the air going into this tube also has to be connected between your throttle body and your airflow meter. Okay, that air also it's going into the engine at the end of the day, and it needs to be calculated by the airflow meter. Otherwise the ECU is going to think no air is going into the engine, so it's not going to put fuel, and therefore she's going to battle to start or not start at all. Okay, so that's that. And then while we're at it, this is your front section of harness. So you can see we've replaced your 6-pin and put in that 4-pin for you. There was a lot of fixing on here as well. Yeah, so all of this has been fixed. All of these joins and stuff have all been repaired, and you should just be able to put this straight on, plug it in, and away you go. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to prime the fuel because it obviously doesn't have any fuel pressure currently. I'll quickly prime the fuel, and then we'll get her up and running for you. Okay, Bradley, let's do this. Ignition. Yeah, so she runs good. She runs good. Let me know if you've got any questions and or any technical, and I'll be more than happy to assist you in any way that I can.